Hello and welcome to another episode of Chappy Hour. My name is Chloë Chapdelaine, and we have a guest who's making his third appearance on the show.
Two in a row, baby. What's up?
What's up, Jake?
Hi, guys.
Jake is back. You guys know him from his previous 2 episodes, and he's on for a third while I am in Nepal.
You know it.
He's not in Nepal with me. We pre-recorded this episode, so while you are listening to this, I'm probably traveling somewhere. Hopefully all is going well for me, future Chloe.
It's all movie magic.
We are currently drinking a brand new Prime Freeze Glacial flavor. I just got these in the mail. So I guess you could say Prime is one of our drink sponsors.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm a fan. Just kidding, I haven't tried this flavor yet. But I'm a fan of all of the other flavors.
That tastes good.
You like it?
It tastes like a melted freezy, yeah.
Okay, let me try it.
Yeah.
Like the white freezies.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
This is really good.
That's like, yeah, that's not bad. These Primes, man, they're really good.
They are.
I actually really like Prime.
Prime has sent me quite a few different flavors of their both energy drinks and hydration drinks. This one is a hydration drink, and I am obsessed with them. I really like them.
I like them a lot.
You know, I actually have a funny story about Prime. When I was in Romania for Christmas, I was in this like store, and these kids came in and just started caroling. They were like 2 young boys, and they just start singing like obnoxiously a little bit. Yeah, and then they were just singing and singing and singing until finally the store clerk came out and gave them each a Prime, and then they walked out.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a wild way to get a free beverage.
I know.
I should try that.
So I think if you ever want a free Prime, you should just go and start singing in a store because it works in Romania. I mean.
Yeah, it must work here.
Anyways, we are going to get started, so grab your glass and cheers! Welcome to Chappy Hour. It's kind of like happy hour, but with me, Chloë Chapdelaine, where I catch up with a friend over drinks. It doesn't need to be 5 o'clock to join, so grab your favorite drink, sit back, relax, and let's get started. Cheers. We are starting off strong with the I'll Take a Double section of this podcast, and that is where we start every single episode with a life hack or something that has made our lives a little bit better. And I have a life hack that I think is pretty neat because how often do you eat avocados?
Maybe once a week or two, but it's usually in guac. I'm just a big guac fan.
So you're not somebody who buys like a bag of avocados and then they all go ripe and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I have to eat all the avocados in one day?
No, because I know I'll never actually commit to eating the avocado, so I don't waste the money.
Okay, well, I'm the type of person who buys an entire bag of avocados and then all of a sudden they're all ripe on the exact same day and I feel like I need to eat all of them and then I'll make like a giant batch of guac.
Yeah.
There is a hack to make your avocados last longer.
Okay.
You can put them in the freezer and apparently they freeze very well.
Really?
Yeah, so if...
I guess that makes sense. Most shit goes in the freezer.
Yeah, so if you put an avocado in the freezer, like I think most people know, if you put an avocado in the fridge, it reduces the rate at which it's oxidizing and like aging.
Right.
Like your avocado doesn't get ripe as fast. But if you put it in the freezer, it will basically stay at whatever state it was. And then when you take it out, it's not all like gross and slimy. It kind of just returns back to regular avocado state. So that's a good way to make your avocados last a little bit longer and you don't have to throw them away.
Maybe I'll buy some avocados and make fresh guac and keep some of that crap now. Okay.
Yeah, what is yours?
Okay, so mine, it's a little different. It's I'm calling it a healthy heart hack. But I did a ton of research on saunas this week.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of saunas. I work out lots. I almost always use a sauna after every single workout I have for years. Feels great. I always heard that it was good for you. I just know that it makes me feel good. Mm-hmm. And so I decided to do the research on it. It is ridiculous how healthy just using a sauna is.
Why?
So it reduces your blood pressure. It heightens your CRF levels.
What's a CRF level?
It's cardiovascular. It's some kind of technical thing.
Something.
You want it heightened, basically.
Okay. I'm just making sure that's not something bad.
No. There was a study done at Harvard. Over the course of the study, they were studying a bunch of people that went to saunas, didn't go to saunas over decades and decades, years and years, like as people died and stuff. So over the course of the study, 49% of men who went to the sauna once a week died in the course of the study, compared to 38% of those who went 2 to 3 times a week, and just 31% of those who went 4 to 7 times a week.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Okay.
So there are different types of saunas, right?
Yes.
Do you know if the type matters? Because there are dry saunas and wet saunas.
Yes. So it matters less whether it is wet or dry.
Okay.
It matters more about the temperature.
Really?
The higher the temperature, the more it makes your heart work, and the better that works your cardiovascular system and keeps your heart in shape. I don't know the exact numbers on this because I didn't write this down, so this is estimates, but another study, and this was purely on heart disease, I believe it was if you went to the sauna once a week, you lowered your risk of heart disease by, I believe it was 15%. If you went 2 to 3 times a week, it was 30%. And if you went 4 to 5 times a week, you lowered your risk of heart disease by 50%.
Really?
So literally not changing your diet, not even working out, just going to a sauna 4 to 5 times a week reduces your risk of heart disease, so heart attacks, by 50%.
I would like to know then if going to hot yoga for 4 days a week is doing the same thing to me. Because when I am going to yoga, our room is like close to 40 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
And I love it. I feel so good after.
Totally.
And my heart is going, not just because of the heat, but because of the workout as well. But it makes me wonder. I wonder if that also plays into it.
If the temperature is to the same degree of a sauna, I don't see why that science wouldn't work out. All it is just being in that temperature for a prolonged time.
And I actually read a journal article that said that hot yoga is a big contributor to reducing rates of depression, and it's been proven to help
I believe that.
in curing depression or reducing your depression rates.
100%.
And I 100% believe it. 100% believe it. I started going to hot yoga when I was at a very unwell state in my mind. Like, I just definitely had room for improvement. My well-being was not entirely there. And yoga has been one of the number one things for making me feel better. Just it's really brought so much joy into my life for so many reasons. And I 100% believe that that's part of it, is just being in a hot room.
I think there's a lot to that also, not just with the hot room, but also just working out in general. Any type of exercising. It's so good for your body, so good for your mental health. I've been spotty with working out since I was 18. I was an athlete growing up and then didn't live the healthiest life. And then I've been very consistent the last 8 months, and I feel so much better mentally, physically. I feel really good. And the sauna that I do after almost every single workout, it feels amazing. And I can tell when I don't use the sauna that I feel horrible the next day after my workout.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of feel like that's a trending topic.
Okay.
Saunas and everything to do with that. And I feel like that's a really good time for us to talk about the daily special section of this podcast, which is everything that's trending. And on that topic, something kind of similar to saunas, but also completely opposite, that I've seen trending a lot in media lately, but just lots of people are talking about it. Like even my coworkers at work, cold plunge pools.
Yes. It's such a big thing now.
Yeah, it is a huge thing. People are buying these tubs and they're filling them with ice cold water and ice, and they're doing cold plunges every single day. And apparently that also has massive health benefits for a lot of different reasons.
They do. They're fantastic. I have done, they're called cold plunges now. I just called them ice baths when I was younger. I've been doing them for probably 15 years. Played basketball pretty seriously growing up, and I had really bad knees. So as I was discovering ways to help my knees, ice baths was one of the things that I was recommended. So I started doing them, did them all the time, have done them my whole life. They are great. They're fantastic. I'll tell you firsthand. They feel great. They feel horrible, but you feel fantastic afterwards.
They feel horrible. That's one thing that I have a lot more trouble jumping on that bandwagon because, well, first of all, I feel like it's not as accessible to people.
I'll tell you right now.
Okay, tell me.
Everyone is trying to market this buying like a portable thing. I even got sucked into it a little bit. I just bought a portable sauna. The cold plunge came for free with it.
No way.
I just got one this week. Love it. It's not as hot as the one at my gym, but it's super great for at home. But I'm not using the free cold plunge because if I want to take an ice bath, just use a bath. If you don't have access to a bath or you want to do it outside, sure, get one of these cold plunge things.
Okay.
But you can just fill your tub with as cold water as possible and use as many ice cubes, ice packs, anything like that you'd use for freezers. Just chuck that in there. That's what I did for years growing up. There's gyms that have dedicated cold plunges, and those are really great. I went to one of those gyms before, but if you don't want to spend all the money, literally just try filling a tub with cold water and putting as many ice cubes in there and then just go and sit in that.
That's actually a really good tip for people who don't want to go out and spend $1,000 on a piece of plastic.
You don't have to spend all that money.
I guess it does come down to lots of people don't want to be refilling their tub time and time again. You know, like an ice bath, you can fill it up.
That's
like
fair.
when you buy the tub, you fill it up and you leave it, and then you just have to top up the ice.
That's also kind of gross too. I have one. I would empty it every time. No, I'm not peeing in it, but like, I mean, you know, you're sitting in your own filth.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here, I do have one other tip. And there's different terms for them: hot, cold showers or Superman showers. Basically, what you do is you go in the shower and you put it on as hot a temperature as you possibly can feel for 1 minute. And then you switch it to as cold a temperature as you possibly can handle for 1 minute. And you go back and forth 5-6 times, and you do that, and you come out of the shower, you feel like Superman.
You know, I'm not going to lie, that does not sound enjoyable to me at all.
It's not fun. It's a shock to your body.
Yeah.
But if you're someone that works out or has an active lifestyle, or honestly even has back pain from sitting in a chair all day, these things do so many wonders for inflammation, pain, all of that crap. Yeah, it feels like shit when you do it. It's 5 minutes and then you're done, and then you feel fantastic afterwards.
I guess that's true. You know what I saw this weekend is I went to Lake Louise, and it's starting to melt out there. Like, it's not melted at all, but it's starting to. There's this one section of the lake that's open, and I saw people basically hopping in and doing cold plunges right in the lake, surrounded by ice. And I thought that was awesome.
We've been doing this for thousands of years.
It's not a new concept,
No.
but you know, I did know a guy who was doing daily cold plunges, and he was trying to increase his time, and he was following a method. Like, it wasn't just him randomly going out. He was doing a personal challenge, and he was documenting this challenge, and he ended up getting frostbite on his toes, and he had to stop because he actually got, like, I think it was some sort of nerve damage where he needed to take a break because it was too much for his body. So if you are going to be doing this, make sure you're doing it with caution or under the guidance of your doctor. But oh man, I
do have one more tip.
Okay, let's hear it.
To prevent that. So what I used to do, I would just wear a pair of socks.
He did. He got neoprene socks to wear in the water.
And he still got frostbite.
I think that he got them after he got
So yeah, I'm kind of a bitch when it comes to the cold. So when I'm doing these cold I hate it. So I would wear 2 pairs of underwear and 2 pairs of socks just so, you know, my sensitive parts didn't get cold. But you can do that. There's different ways to get into this cold and hot therapy lifestyle. But I promise you, once you get into it, you will thank me.
I'm not on board with the cold side of things yet.
I'm getting you on board.
I am with the hot side. Like, that is the reason I go to hot yoga. Sometimes it's not even for the yoga. Like, sometimes it's just to be in a hot room and just enjoy that warmth on my skin and sweat. But I would like to get into the cold plunging side of things. And one thing also that I've done that's trending that I've also seen is another wellness activity that I've seen people compare it to cold plunging, but without the discomfort in a sense, is dry brushing. Have you heard of this?
No, what's that?
It's taking a boar bristle brush. So it's like a brush with a whole bunch of natural bristles.
Yeah.
And you run it over your skin. And you usually start at like your ankles and you work your way up. And it actually isn't comfortable to do while you're doing it. It's kind of scratchy. And your brain actually tells you sometimes that it hurts. But it's not hurting you. It's not breaking your skin. You're just going over your skin with this brush.
Yeah.
And it leaves you with this tingling feeling afterwards where it's like, wow, I feel like I just got out of ice cold water. It's a really interesting sensation. I would compare it to that personally, at least. But what this serves to do is it increases circulation because you're bringing blood flow to those areas. It can help with lymphatic drainage and just like moving that in your body. That's another thing that I've done that doesn't make me have to go into a really cold environment. I mean, it's probably not having the same effect on my body in terms of how it's helping me.
It probably has completely different effects because it's not cold therapy. It's skin, touch therapy. I'll be honest, sounds a little gimmicky to me. I'll tell you right now.
You should try it.
Yeah, but this is TikTok researches. There has been thousands of years of studies from humans using cold for therapy. Yep. And I'll tell you from 15 years of experience, it works.
But you should look into lymphatic drainage. I talked about it on
I'll check
my
it out.
last,
I do have a boar bristle brush because I use it for my beard.
Oh,
it's literally one of the best stuff that you can use for your beard.
And it's great also if you ever want to get a slicked back ponytail. Use a boar bristle
yep.
brush. It has changed my life for hairstyles.
Yeah.
It gets all those little curly flyaways at your hairline.
Look at that. Look at that. You use it for everything.
I know. I basically do. But anyways, that's one thing I've seen trending. And there's lots of other trending things to do. And I feel like this one also kind of plays into the wellness culture that we're talking about, of just people trying to do things to improve themselves and their happiness. And one thing I've seen a lot of people doing is actually dissolving lip filler or facial fillers that they have.
I've been seeing it everywhere. I don't know if, you know what, I do know. In Calgary, there has been an epidemic of it.
Of lip filler?
Oh, yeah. For the last maybe decade, maybe a little less than a decade. I feel like Calgary, and I've lived in other cities in Canada, Calgary specifically, it's had a wild amount of lip filler. Everybody's got it.
I feel like it's a lot of cities.
It is a lot of cities, but I have noticed specifically, and like I've been to Chicago and stuff, I see it more in Calgary.
Really?
I don't know what it is. I've just noticed it. Maybe I'm just paying more attention to it, but I've noticed it being wild in Calgary.
Okay.
And even like, not even just like the wild, huge lips. There's plenty of those, but just like people getting just a little bit here and there, and you barely even notice it. But I like, even my little sister, she went and got some. Everybody I know got freaking lip filler in Calgary, but they have been getting dissolved lately. You know what I think it was?
Why?
Kylie Jenner got her shit dissolved.
She did.
She's the reason why everyone got that shit in the first place.
We're also at a really unique time where I think lots of people who, when they first started getting it, it looked really good. It was new. They enjoyed that look on their face. But they were going back and getting top up after top up after top up. And that's when migration starts to happen. That's when maybe it doesn't have that really fresh, plump look like it used to. Maybe it's starting to shift around and give more of a pillowy look. That's not what originally they were going for. Or I think lots of people get a little bit of body dysmorphia and they don't realize how much product they've put into their face.
Yeah.
And so it comes to a point where they're like, man, I have more than I originally had planned on in that part of my face, and it doesn't look like the body part I recognize anymore. And so they're going back and just doing a refresh, which is one of the good things about filler, is for the most part you can dissolve it.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully. I know one girl, a friend of mine, she had gone so many times back to her lip filler lady or whatever. They actually told her she was not allowed to come back for, I think, a year.
Really?
Because she had put so much in her mouth that it couldn't physically take more.
That's a good
before
injector.
Being like messed. And I'll tell you right now, didn't look that good. It had gotten to the point where it was ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it's good though that injector did stop her, because I think there are some dishonest injectors.
They'll let you keep going.
Who will just let you keep going, and that's where I feel like sometimes you can do irreversible damage where you're stretching out your skin.
Yeah, have some morals. If you're out there doing lip filler and shit, when it gets to the point and that your client looks like shit, come on, tell her. Come on.
But I say at the end of the day, I'm happy that lots of people are embracing their natural faces.
Hell yeah, 100%.
I say do whatever makes you feel the most comfortable. Do what makes you happy. And I'm happy to see that lots of people are realizing that they don't need filler. I mean, so many people still have it. And absolutely, this is no hate to you if you do have it or if you love it on you. Keep it. If that's what makes you smile, do your thing. Feel beautiful in the way that makes you feel beautiful.
Can I tell you from a man's opinion?
You can. Are you representing all men?
No, I'm representing Jake, but like I'm representing a lot of dudes that I know. We don't care. They don't need to be that big. I know you're not doing it for us a lot of the time, but some people do want to do it for men. Don't do it for us. We don't care if they're massive lips at all. We ain't got no worry about that.
I mean, thank you for your opinion. Moving on to the next topic. One last thing that I've seen trending lately. I want to talk to you about mattresses.
Okay.
I
just bought one. Let's talk about it.
Okay. Do you ever vacuum your mattress?
That's the most disgusting thing. What are you talking about?
Well, it's supposed to make it not disgusting. One thing I have seen trending is people talking about the need to vacuum your mattress. Because if you are sleeping on your mattress every single night, yeah, you can wash your bed sheets, but there will be dead skin cells and dust and hair, I don't know, all the gross stuff that can work its way into your mattress and settle deep in there. And if you are not vacuuming that out of your mattress, there is a chance that there are bed mites or dust mites that are munching on your dead skin cells, living in that bed with you, and can cause allergies, can cause you to feel unwell, can cause skin problems. And that's why you need to vacuum your mattress apparently, which I have never ever done. I'll tell you this right now. I have never done it, but
I ain't never done that.
Would you?
No, because I know where my vacuum has been. It's been gross fucking places.
What are you vacuuming up?
I got a cat, so he fucking kicks out cat fucking litter and shit, and I vacuum that shit up.
You need a bed specific vacuum.
Yeah, okay. If you have a hand vac or whatever, yeah, sure, use that on your shit. But if you got one vacuum for your whole place, do not use that on your bed. That is disgusting. Everywhere else that it's been cleaning up shit on the bottom of your feet, I don't want that. The edges of the vacuum that's not sucking touching my bed. What you should do is going, and I just bought like a $3,000 friggin' mattress.
Congrats.
Thank you. I am poor. I did not have enough for a bed frame.
Oh, no. Is it just your mattress on the floor?
Yeah, I know.
Hey,
all girls are judging me so hard right now.
You can't have anybody over to your house or they're never going to view you the same.
Believe me, I had friends over on the weekend, and
you can literally get a bed frame off of like Wayfair for like $80.
I'm waiting for my next paycheck. Come on.
Okay.
It's just a temporary measure. I literally felt every girl listening to this cringe when they heard I didn't have a fucking bed frame.
Do you have the blue bed sheets?
No, I have really, really fancy black and gold red bed sheets.
Okay.
So fuck off.
So much better. Got it.
I made myself sound even douchier. Anyways, what you should be doing is just getting a mattress protector. Like underneath your sheets, you get like the whatever waterproof mattress protector, and that completely protects your mattress from anything ever touching it.
I have one.
Exactly. And then once in a while, you wash that thing, or you wash it every time with your sheets.
I think that's a really good solution.
Yeah,
because this guy who vacuumed his mattress, he got like an entire vacuum bin full of dust and nasty stuff.
That seems like a disgusting human, and we probably shouldn't be listening to his TikTok hacks. If he had a full vacuum off of a bed,
that's true. Imagine how stinky that bed would have been.
Oh, good lord!
I don't even want to think about it.
Good lord.
Oh, okay. Last topic for this one.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of the term the lead paint stare?
The lead paint stare?
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of lead poisoning.
Okay, well, it has to do with lead poisoning.
Oh.
Yeah. So apparently, the lead paint stare is a specific facial expression that is a stare given generally by boomers or older generations. And the theory,
I just love the term boomer because we've turned it into a diss, even though it's literally just their generation. Our generation has turned that into okay boomer.
But basically what's happening is people are observing that a lot of people that are of the older generation are just staring. They just have this blank facial expression where they stare. And
those freaky old fucks. Oh, I see it all the time.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
They stare. I see it all the time too, even in grocery stores and stuff. And it's not only that,
I feel it on the back of my neck.
It's in situations where staring is inappropriate. It's not like they're just watching you from afar. Maybe you'll walk up, like say you're at a grocery store and they come up to you and they ask you a question. Like they've got the question and you answer them, and then they're just staring at you. And it's like, what do you want?
I hate that shit.
And the theory is that back in the day, toys and walls had lead paint. Yeah. And so they've just consumed some lead and it's caused a little bit of lead poisoning. And it has led to today what is the lead paint stare, which is why they look at you with that really blank expression.
You want to know my theory on it?
Tell me.
I don't think that it has absolutely anything at all to do with paint. Although I think that is a really funny way to just describe how weird old people are. Okay. I love old people. I'm very close with my grandparents. I'm going to visit them soon. But old people are fucking weird. They're fucking weird, and they do weird shit. And they fucking like say weird shit and stare all weird. And I don't think it's the lead. I think it's just a generational divide. They just don't really give a fuck about seeming weird when they're doing shit. I swear to God.
That's true. When I get old, I'm not going to care whether I seem weird or not.
I barely give a fuck now.
A lot of it doesn't only have to do with that. It's like they get themselves in these positions where it's like, it's not that they're being weird. It's just they don't have the mental capacity to have like a proper conversation with you. So they just stare. Ooh, or else they go into a panic. The Mitch McConnell. The boomer panic.
Have you heard of Mitch McConnell?
No.
I watched some videos of him after. This is Political Jake coming out. He's a senator or some shit in the States. I think he just retired. But this dude, he would go up on stage and like just freeze completely for minutes on end, and he would have to be like carried off, and it was rough. And like there wasn't even any health conditions. He was just that old that his body just couldn't take it.
That's sad.
Yeah, that's
I wish him the best. Anyways, we're going to move into the section that is a little bit more controversial than this.
Oh, I love it.
This is the section where we're bringing out the ice cubes because we are on the rocks.
Good thing I just poured a little bit of one vodka.
I cannot wait to share with you the drama that is happening right now that has to do with a very popular baking paper brand.
Okay.
Like
which
probably
one?
No, I'm not going to share the name because it's so obvious that you can probably figure it out. But
you can share the name if you say allegedly, I think.
Is that how it works? Allegedly, it's parchment paper.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, allegedly.
But I'm just viewing this on the internet.
Yeah, this is all alleged.
This is all alleged, and we don't know if this is truth or not.
No,
but this is what went down, and I need to share it with you. Talk to me. So this creator started making a video where she shared her dad cooking her food with a nonstick pan.
Okay.
It's a heartwarming moment. It's a family moment. Yeah. Sweet. Okay.
Cute.
This very popular baking paper brand left a comment on her video saying, "Must be a tough life living life on easy mode."
What?
Which is just a little uncalled for, a little bit random.
Yeah, that's
so she responds,
weird.
Takes it very well. She responded better than I probably would have, and she says, "Lucky to have parents who make it possible."
Yeah,
that's a good response, right?
That's a nice positive response. Yeah.
This baking paper company responds and says, "Yeah, we get it. You have no skills and family money."
What the fuck?
Which, to go from a video of her dad just cooking her food on a nonstick pan to suddenly making this reach.
What the fuck does that? Yeah.
Super uncalled for.
Okay.
So this girl immediately, she's like, something feels a little bit off about that.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
So she emails the company and is like, "Hey, I just want to let you know that this comment was left on my Instagram. I think you might be hacked."
Yeah, that seems
I would be
like
thinking they might be hacked as well.
Like that, yeah.
So good for her to reach out.
I've heard of like brands being edgy, you know, and doing like Duolingo has been doing real weird stuff with their advertising lately. But to directly comment a rude comment on someone, that's super weird for a brand.
I know. And then she gets an email back.
Okay.
Expecting them to say, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
Yeah.
This is what she gets back. "I don't consider stating factual information is cyberbullying. If you're offended over a comment about having no skill set while getting to frolic through life with family money is bullying, I call the cyberbully police. Delete the comment and move along. Cheers."
What the fuck? From an official email?
From the founder and CEO of the company, signs it with his name.
Can we allegedly say who the brand is?
Allegedly, the brand is Parchment Paper, and allegedly the person who responded to this email is named Brandon Howard, who his label in this video says that he's the founder and CEO of Black Label Parchment Paper.
Wow. That's so weird.
That
is so weird.
I think that
what's
this
his beef with this girl?
Weird. So I don't know if his beef is just with this girl and he's personally triggered by the fact she has a caring father, if he's personally triggered that non-stick pans exist and that's single-handedly putting
so wait a second.
Parchment paper out of service because, you know...
So there was no parchment paper anywhere in the video?
No, the video had nothing to do with
this dude was mad? Because the girl wasn't using his product in a cooking thing? Is that what this is?
Yeah, and it wasn't even her who was using it. It was her dad cooking her a meal.
What?
Yeah. So then you'd think that it would be left at that because that's a super snarky response for an email, in my opinion.
That is literally so rude. I've had to make a lot of corporate emails in my day, and when you're being rude over corporate email, you say it slickly. That was downright just straight up rude.
Yeah, so anyways, this girl makes a video about it because she's like, just so you guys know, like, this is what's happening and I think I have beef with this baking paper brand. So then you'd think it would be left there, right?
Yeah.
But it gets worse.
For what reason?
Then they double, triple, quadruple down.
Yes, those words.
And they just start leaving so many comments, making fun of her for emailing them, saying she's frolicking through life on easy mode and that he's not a cyberbully and she should call the cyberbully police. They put a statement to their Instagram story from the brand account addressing how he does not apologize for the comments.
What? They made an official statement about it?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yes. And people
I thought
are
I
just
was
like,
a PR nightmare.
Yeah, Yeah, who is allowing this? I just can't believe this is happening. This girl did nothing wrong. In fact, she did everything right. Emailing the company being like, hey, I think you were hacked.
Yeah, literally.
That's going out of her way to try to help the company. But no, this man, I don't know what his problem was, but he just could not let it go. And I'm pretty sure there's still drama going on. And I don't know. I feel like it's going to end in a lawsuit.
That's super weird. Maybe he like had like a private account or something that was his personal account. And he like tried to slide in and she never replied. And he took a personal and he's like, well, I own a big company. I'll talk shit from a big company.
That's a theory. I could see men who would do that.
Yeah, there's fucking weird dudes everywhere.
And so he's like using his brand account to be like, look at all my clout.
Yeah, literally. Oh,
but it's like literally a baking paper. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the baking paper guy. Bro, shut up.
Who actually cares? I'm sure there are other brands you can buy from. There you go.
Hell yeah. You know what? We're all boycotting him. I won't say anything because this is allegedly on you guys' behalf. I'm boycotting this motherfucker's shit. I'm only buying house brand parchment paper.
Okay. Do you have any drama in your life though?
Do I have drama in my life?
Or do you have drama you want to talk about in general? Because that didn't have to do with my life, but I was so invested in it, I felt like it was part of my life.
Most people probably haven't heard of this because the movie flopped. But Madam Web, it's the newest superhero movie that just came out. Sydney Sweeney was in it. Dakota Johnson was the lead.
I like them.
Yeah, everybody loves them.
Yeah.
So you'd think it'd be an okay movie. There was some scummy shit that happened in the background. They kind of scammed all of the actresses into believing they were going to be in a Marvel movie.
Really?
Because it was a superhero movie.
Allegedly.
But it wasn't Marvel. It was Sony. Sony did it because Sony still technically has the rights to Spider-Man, so they made a weird Spider-Man-esque movie with people in Spider-Man suits that weren't named Spider-Man. The movie sucked.
I've never actually even heard of this movie.
Yeah, the movie sucked. The writers of it, they're on I think a 5 or 6 movie streak of box office flops. They suck. The last one they did was Morbius.
Where is this budget coming from?
With Sony. And I have no clue why Sony believes in these people. There's clearly some behind the scenes crap, but they wrote a horrible movie. I watched it because my mom wanted to watch it, and I was like, okay, Mom, we'll go watch it. She wanted to watch a girl superhero movie. It sucked so hard. Me and my sister were laughing hysterically by the end of it because of how bad it was.
Really?
Oh, halfway through the movie,
Why? What made it suck?
It felt like it was written by AI. Genuinely. There was nothing interesting. The most corny movie tropey things ever. The characters were boring. And the editing was really, really weird and bad. The actors, I have nothing wrong with their performances. I'm sure they would have been decent if it was edited and directed better, but the directing was horrible. Anyways, the beef on what's happening with this movie is this is the first time that I have ever seen a movie that the stars of the movie have been so verbal about hating it.
Really?
Usually
Do you feel like that would be I feel like that would be against some sort of contract they would have?
A lot of the times it is. They're in contracts to hype up the movie for a period of time after the movie. They have to go on press runs and all this shit and say, oh, it's the best movie ever, go watch it. But Dakota Johnson, the lead of the movie, has been saying it's a horrible project. I wish I never went on it. Basically all of the actors have said that. Something interesting though, Sydney Sweeney said that she was thankful for the project, even though it was a complete flop, because it gave her connections with Sony, and then I believe she was actually able to sell a movie idea of hers to Sony through it.
Really?
Yeah. But,
good for her.
Yeah, so that's great for her. Everyone loves Sydney Sweeney.
America's
She's
sweetheart.
hot and a dope actress. Euphoria, can't wait for the next season.
I've actually never watched Euphoria.
You have to.
I should. Everybody tells me Hamish looks like Nate Jacobs or something.
You know what? He kind of does.
Really?
But he's your man's taller though.
Yeah, he is.
he's a taller version of him.
Because he's supposed to be really tall. The Jacob Elordi.
Yeah.
What is he like 6'4" or something?
Yeah, but
Hamish is like
6'6"?
at least 6'8". Like
he's massive.
Maybe 6'10".
This dude's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's pretty tall.
Yeah.
But
I miss you,
like
Hamish.
I miss him too. I miss you, Hamish. He's probably listening to this.
Okay. Yeah. It's just the first time I've ever seen actors so adamantly hate their own movie. and be verbal about it. It's kind of interesting to see that and there not be like some kind of repercussion for it.
You know, I would be pretty shaken if I were on a movie and it turned out to be a flop after just, you know, putting in so much time and effort into the role and being told it was one thing and then it's another.
It would not feel good.
But
that's the game. That's the game. Not every movie's a hit. Sometimes they're flops.
You know, but on the topic of feeling shaken,
okay,
it's time to move into the shaken, not stirred
I love it. Let's
category of this podcast. Let's move into it. This is everything that shook us up this week, and that could be something good, something bad, a fact you learned, something you saw. And what is yours?
Okay. So it's not new to anybody because we've all been talking about it for thousands of years. But the pyramids.
What about them?
I watched another podcast about pyramids, and it had a new idea theory thing about them, and it blew my motherfucking mind.
Tell me about it.
So this Egyptologist, whatever pyramid guy who has access to them and like has been inside them and studied them and stuff, went on this podcast that I listened to, and he explained his theory. And his theory was basically that pyramids originally were a form of battery. They were some kind of energy source, and he was able to prove this with and he pulled up like pictures and videos of all these cores that were drilled out in the middle of the pyramid.
Batteries for what?
That's what they don't know.
Aliens.
So, there's
Is
always
that where it's going?
No. This guy was completely in science. He just thinks that in our society there has been times where we had these great builder societies. So we built these crazy things that we don't understand how we got them, like the Easter Island heads or the pyramids and shit. And exactly. There's been periods of time where we've been able to build these crazy things and we don't understand why, because we've lost access to the information about the technology of that day. But he is fully convinced that it was humans that built these things. They have evidence in Aztec areas about computers that they had made from that time that were made of rocks but were able to compute equations. They're not screens like we have today, but they made these contraptions out of rocks that were able to solve equations. So they were computers. And these were items that were found in Aztec areas in Mexico and whatnot, but they come from the same period of time as Egypt.
Okay.
So they think that.
What is this podcast? Just so people can go and listen to it if they want.
This was actually, it was an older episode of the Flagrant podcast by Andrew Schultz. And if you just search Flagrant Pyramids, it'll be the first one that pops up. It's a very popular one. But I listened to it back in the day, and then I re-listened to it this week. And it was really, really, really friggin' interesting.
Really?
Just a side note, I noticed this while I was editing. Every time I said faster, I actually meant to say slower. So if you hear me say faster, just replace it in your head with the word slower.
One thing that I heard about pyramids once that kind of blew my mind a little bit is apparently time travels faster near the pyramids than it does if you're away from them. And it has to do something with, so if you were to set a clock, for example, right here in this room right now, and you were to go to outer space and hit start on both of them, so they're both running at the exact same time, they're not going to be in sync. Like one of them is going to run faster than the other. And
yes, if you're, depending on the circumstances, I'm a huge space nerd.
Okay.
If you're in orbit of the Earth, they've actually done this with an astronaut, and he has a Guinness Book of World Record for it for the most time traveled, and he's like 0.002 seconds ahead of the rest of humanity. And depending on different huge bodies and where you are in the universe, if you're close to certain fucking environments, the more time will be pulled. It's very interesting.
But apparently in areas where gravity is stronger, which has to do with gravitational pull is stronger,
Einstein's theory of relativity,
giant masses, gravity will be stronger near that area. And the pyramids is one of those areas where gravity is a little bit stronger, and it can make time move faster.
I believe it. It's probably so minuscule that we would never be able to tell as humans, but it'd be interesting to see how they could measure it.
You know, actually, time to me is one of those things that I'm going to bring up for my Shake and Not Stirred as well.
Okay.
Because time is such a crazy concept to me. It is entirely constructed, like it's a social construct.
100%.
You know, time feels fast at certain times. It feels slow. We've decided that this is what time is, and it is such a social construct because time varies on experience and so many different factors. But
drug usage?
I mean, yes.
God
but
bless.
Something that is really crazy to me, though, even though I say time is a social construct, is that there are animals that, for example, will every single year on the same day of the year do something. So even though we decided this is what a year is, we decided this based on more than just us being like, this is a good number. You know, for example, every single year, there are these ants that come out of the ground. Back in Medicine Hat, where I'm from, they come out of the ground and they fly around. They're these flying ants. And it happens one day a year, and they fill the air. They're everywhere. They're so gross. They look like wasps. And it's almost on the same day every single year. And it's like these ants know that this is the day every year. Like one of my neighbors said he marks it in his calendar as this is the year I need to get the ant spray out because ants are going to be everywhere.
Time is so freaky. I do have one theory I wanted to run by you.
Yep.
I've always kind of noticed with time that if you're ever in an environment with other people or even just people across the city or whatever, if you feel like you're having a long day, I feel like other people are feeling they're having a long day too. Every time I feel like I'm having a long day, I talk to other people and they say they're having a long day too, or today feels like it's blowing by. Everyone else feels that same way. I don't know what that is, but I just find that everyone seems to be feeling that at the same time. I know the seconds move the same every second of the day, but we feel like these things change.
Yeah.
It's super weird.
And like when I say time is a social construct, like obviously it's based around like the rotation of the earth and how long it takes for it to do a full circle, and the sun and the moon and the pull and everything like that. But I do agree with that I feel like there has to do something with the vibrational energy in the air, you know?
Getting all crystal girly.
Oh, I need to not dive too deep into this topic today. That is my shaken not stirred topic of the week, and moving along onto the bottoms up, which is last topic of the week.
What are we obsessed with?
What are we obsessed with? I'll tell you mine.
Talk to me.
Mini everythings.
Mini everythings?
Okay, not just everythings, like specifically like skincare products.
Okay.
Makeup.
Like travel size?
Travel size.
Okay.
I love the travel section in Walmart or whatever store I go to, Shoppers Drug Mart. The cute little things, baby shampoos, baby everything. Baby, like they're just so cute.
Do you steal from hotels?
I think you're allowed to take those. It's not stealing, right?
Do you take from hotels?
Yeah. I'll take like the toothpaste. I usually don't take the shampoo because it's not quality enough for me.
Yeah.
But like if they've ever got a toothpaste, I'm taking that with me.
Facts.
Absolutely.
I used to steal them all the time until I realized they were such shit quality.
Well, I don't think you're stealing them. Like I think you're allowed to take those. Like if you were to take the towel,
I'm using the wrong vernacular.
That's stealing it.
Yeah, that's stealing. That seems expensive.
Don't take the towels from hotels.
Don't take the towels.
But on that topic,
okay.
I literally saw somebody talking today about again on TikTok. I need an intervention. How at certain hotels in certain parts of the world that the face cloths at hotels are disposable. Like they're not disposable, but they don't expect them back. So you can take it. And the reason I saw this is because there was a very popular makeup influencer who was at a hotel and she's taking off her makeup and she absolutely destroyed that cloth. Like it was just caked with makeup.
Guess that,
and then
they expect that.
Somebody commented, they're like, I'm a hotel worker and I just know as a fact they'd be throwing that washcloth away after they're done. But then somebody else commented and they're like, what do you mean throw it away? Like people are allowed to take it home with them from hotels. Like our hotel expects people to take home the washcloths. And apparently in certain parts of the world, that is something that's expected.
That makes sense. Yeah. Every territory, everywhere's got little things that are different and shit.
Because like also like imagine if somebody used that washcloth to like, I don't know, wipe their butt. Like I don't know what people are doing. Things. What's worse than wiping your butt?
I don't know, sexual fluids.
Yeah. But seriously, and then you're washing your face with it?
No, thank you.
I don't even want to think about that. Anyways, what was I even talking about? Oh, minis.
Minis. Yeah.
Love them.
Yeah, minis.
I just love them. They're so cute. And I'm traveling and I just bought a mini everything. And I'm taking it with me because it's the perfect size. And I don't ever use full things because I don't use a lot of products always, like especially makeup products. Mm-hmm. So if I buy a mini, it's the perfect size and then it doesn't expire and I love it.
You know what? That makes sense. And that might be like a trend lately because my sister, for Christmas, rather than asking for like one big perfume, she asked me to get her like 3 different travel size perfumes.
Really?
Yeah, she gave me like a list of a few different small ones. So
I get that because you know how long it takes to go through a full one?
Forever.
forever.
I've
Just
had
get
the same
smaller
like
sizes.
cologne since friggin' high school.
I know. You're probably going to change what you want.
I mean, I got different ones now, but yeah, I've literally had the one that I've had since high school.
And I think a lot of the time, full-size products are wasteful, especially for makeup products. If you're using makeup products, but you're not using it before the expiry, or like they're going to get bacteria and they're not good for your skin after a certain length of time. Which,
I just went through all my skincare products. I had to throw out a couple of old lotions and whatnot.
Did they smell bad?
They didn't smell bad, but I checked the expiration date because I had just a big drawer of old friggin' skincare products.
Yeah, you're going to put it on your face and get a mystery rash.
Yeah, we don't need none of that.
Anyways, what are you obsessed with?
Any of my good friends or family know this about me and know how horribly annoying I am about it. A24.
What is that?
A24 is a low budget, I'm doing quotations with my fingers, movie production house. So they're not Disney. They're not, ABC. They're not any of these huge networks. They're not Fox, any of that crap. What they are is they are a company that makes movies for $50 million and under usually rather than $500 million and under.
Okay.
And a lot of the greatest movies in the last 15 years, or maybe 10 years, have all been from A24.
Name them.
Okay. Moonlight, Midsummer, Hereditary.
Midsummer and Hereditary are from them? I love those. Those are my two favorite horror movies.
Exactly. Those are both Ari Aster's. He's one of my favorite directors. He just did another movie last year called Beau is Afraid with A24, and that was a beautiful, ridiculous, wild movie. And he's doing another one next year with Pedro Pascal and a bunch of other cool people, and it's a Western.
Ooh.
Another A24 movie.
Ooh.
A24 also did Saltburn, which everyone was freaking out about recently.
So the theme is he kind of does a little bit of, they kind of do a little bit of messed up
films. A24, they don't do typical run-of-the-mill blockbuster stuff. They give a lot of first directors chances. They do a lot of weird movies. They do a lot of horror movies, a lot of creepy things, a lot of outside of the norm stuff, a lot of low budget. It's indie vibe with, it's still $50 million so you can make a good movie. I'm pretty sure all those movies with Maya Goth, X, Pearl, if you saw those ones, fantastic horror movies. Pretty sure those were A24. Lighthouse with Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe. It's a black and white movie in like that square format. Mm-hmm. One of the most beautiful movies you'll ever see in your life.
Really?
It is absolutely stunning. It's a horror movie and it's really weird and really cool.
Would you work for them one day? Is this something you're manifesting?
Oh my God. I don't really believe in manifestation. I believe in working hard towards your goals. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that thinking about it does anything.
Well, that's part of what manifestation, though. It's setting yourself up for that
I just have a problem with people that say they manifest and then don't do anything about it. So I don't use that
That's
term.
Not proper manifestation.
Maybe you're right. Maybe those people have altered what that term means for me. Anyways, I would absolutely love to work on an A24 production. If you don't know, I'm a movie guy. I work in the movies. I make music. I do all sorts of entertainment stuff. But I would love to be the boom operator on an A24 movie, specifically a horror movie. I haven't gotten to work on a horror movie either yet.
Well, believe in it.
Oh,
it's going to happen.
I'm going to get there.
Maybe somebody's going to listen to this and reach out to you.
Yes, I am obsessed with A24. Basically, if you're a friend of mine and you're coming over to watch movies at my house, it's going to be an A24 movie.
That's pretty
100%
cool.
of the time.
But we are running out of time, and so we have to wrap it up for today. Mm-hmm. But I want to say to every single person listening right now, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. This episode, just so you're aware, is pre-recorded because I'm probably traveling in Nepal while you're listening to this right now. So thank you so much. And if you guys want to see my travels in Nepal, head over to my Instagram at Chloë.Chapdelaine or my TikTok where I'll be sharing all about what I'm up to. And it's going to be a lot of fun. But, I have some exciting things in my life. And Jake, I know that you have something exciting that's happened to your family lately. So why don't you share what's going on?
Yes. So my dad has just released a book. and it is a book of poetry. It's called Raw Eggs by Patrick Julian Hunter, and we were not expecting it to fully be out in print at all of the stores. We thought it'd just be available online, but we just got word that Indigo has picked it up and it's going to be available in store everywhere in Western Canada.
Congrats.
So if you're in Western Canada listening to this, please go and check out Raw Eggs by Patrick Julian Hunter. And if you're not, you can still order it online anywhere in the world from Indigo, Amazon. Indigo's the cheapest place, but you can order it anywhere, and we would love it if you would support my dad's journey as a poet. He's been a poet for his entire life, but this is his first full book that's been published.
That's so exciting.
Check it out.
As always, to everybody listening, if you want to support the show as well, be sure to head over to Spotify or Apple Music or wherever you're listening to this and give it a 5-star review if you enjoy what you're listening to. Or you can always go and just check me out on Instagram, and I appreciate that too. So thank you to everybody listening. But until next time, cheers!